Go
because
on.
obviously we had the rookie test today, and
Yeah.
Gabriele Minì, um, top the sessions, right? F2 driver, 20 years old, Italian, right? Not had the
Gabriele Minì.
not had the greatest of F2 seasons at this present time. He's had a couple of DNFs recently, one podium, I believe. You know, and I'm thinking, okay, so he doesn't, he's not. I know he's young. He's 20 years old, and at this precise moment, we had Paul Arad last year who did a good job for Envision, and obviously he's setting his sights on F1 and so forth with Alpine currently.
I
But
think he should. I think Aaron should be in that Alpine seat instead of Colapinto. I,
but
I do not. I do not rate Colapinto.
but at
That's
this
a different
different
story.
story. But I'm looking at this kid, and we were thinking about your mate Sergio Sette Camera coming into this and setting the
Yeah.
world alight. And I'm basing it off qualifying, right? Because yes, he did score 2 points for the race on Sunday, but in terms of qualifying, like Felipe Dragovic, fair play to Dragovic, he was. He did,
He
he did
made a mega job on
he did a
Sunday.
mega
Yeah,
job.
it's great.
Was fairly consistent. Did a mega job. Sergio Sette Camera, I expected more, and didn't get it.
I didn't. Obviously when you're stepping in for a weekend, it's like I don't think he was ever going to set the world alight. Which, yeah, and yes, Ollie's had an amazing year, but the thing is, we know that Norman Nato is no slouch,
Yeah,
and
I know
he's
that.
been struggling, and so I wasn't, I wasn't expecting.
So
I wasn't expecting Sergio to come in, and I think he did a very good job gaining a couple points for the team,
yeah,
and arguably that's what he was brought in to do, just to try and like make sure that that when Norman did miss those races, that he was able to step in and add to the tally.
yeah,
Obviously, Nissan had hoped that Norman would have a much better year than he did,
yeah.
but I think Sergio still had a very solid. It,
Weekend.
yeah, I think like there was not a huge amount. Like he could have, yes, he could have qualified better. He could have, yeah, but I think the fact that he knows how peloton race works and that he was able to cycle to the front at the end, I think, yeah, no, I think he did a decent job getting those couple points, and
But
yeah,
does Mini's performance of topping both rookie sessions bring him into contention for
I
the
think so.
seat?
I think so, yes, but I think it also depends on what Alpine does with with their seat for next season, because
I don't think Mini will be
if
in it.
I don't think he will either, but I think that seat is very sort of up for grabs at the moment in
Correct.
F1, because I don't think Colapinto's doing the job. I think that Alpine need to court other drivers from people that I spoke to who work at Alpine. Jack Doohan this season was the last resort. They had Carlos come around the factory. They had a handful of other drivers go around the factory, and they couldn't get any of them to sign on. And so they signed Jack Doohan. And when Colapinto showed some speed in a Williams last year, they snapped him up with the intention of putting him in later in the season, which is what they've done. But
It's not
the
massively
thing
worked
is,
out.
Colapinto was brought in a Williams last year to replace Logan Sargent because Sargent was crashing too much. And in three fewer races, Colapinto did more millions worth of damage than Logan Sargent did. And that's like, yeah, that's sort of where Colapinto is. Colapinto has the speed, but he's
Consistency might not be there.
he likes the wall.
So
Like, yeah,
because we're umming and ahhing because obviously with Nissan and their push for the team's championship with Porsche, it's obviously been very heavily one-sided, and Porsche, well, lost a little bit of points on Sunday, but on Saturday gained a ton, right? And extended the lead in the team, and so you feel like Nissan need a second driver that's going to be strong, and Mini showed potentially that he not that he could be it, but maybe it's a risk. But if there's a driver that they're looking at and it's been on their book box, and you top both sessions in a rookie session, and you're not 100% sure, you think, right, maybe we've taken a punt on Taylor Barnard. Taylor Barnard showed that he was quick in preseason testing in Valencia, and we knew from that moment that he was going to be good. Could it be the same with Minnie?
Potentially, yeah. For some people it works more than others, but I think when Jake Hughes came into the series a couple of years ago and he did that first race in Mexico City, and he was absolutely knackered after the race, and that's one of the toughest races I've ever done. And we've seen Taylor come in, and it's almost effortless.
Yeah.
Taylor's performance this year, which is just remarkable, and the fact that he's just come in, and yeah, admittedly he wasn't in a great car in F2, but he didn't really show a huge amount of performance. I mean, his teammate Josh Dirksen was doing all right in F2 and has won a couple races here and there, and has again this year as well. But yeah, I think definitely sort of like the rookie test or something. I think that second Nissan seat is something to sort of watch over, because now that there's there's going to be less cars on
Yep.
the grid next year, because McLaren haven't found the investment, unfortunately. Well,
Ian James.
the James team. There will be lots of people phoning up Nissan and going, right, what's the play? And I think you could add Felipe Drogovic after this weekend's performance into that as well. Victor Martins, who is getting on a bit in F2. Richard Verschoor has said that he wants to that he's looking at Formula E as a potential option in the future, because this is his last season of Formula 2.
So you felt like maybe him trying to
already
get a
said
rookie
that.
session might be
So
good.
maybe, yeah. So maybe, yeah. There are some options for Nissan, but yeah, we'll have to see.
We will have to see indeed.